Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk about a certain demographic of K-pop fans that are often referred to as uncle fans. This topic is a long time coming, but I really wanted to make sure that I covered everything that I wanted to discuss and did it properly. Also, this video is definitely not conclusive, but rather an exploration onto this side of the fandom, and a lot of what I'm going to be saying is my own opinion. So, just as a disclaimer, this is not age-shaming or misandry, and I don't think every older male fan is like this. A lot of them might just be in it for the music, and if so, they're completely welcome. If what I'm describing is not you, it's safe to say you're not the uncle fan I'm referring to. Basically, an uncle fan isn't every middle-aged male fan, it's a specific type. And don't worry, a video essay on noona fans is also on my list. Since we have so much to discuss, let's just get into it. So, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, uncle fans are basically a subsection of older male fans, often middle-aged and usually fans of female groups, especially younger female groups, and those that stick to cute concepts. These kinds of fans can get creepy. They are demanding and often really perverted toward young female idols, but since they are the target audience, companies very often force these idols to pander to this demographic. A huge example of this is Momoland, but we'll be getting to that soon. This demographic was way more evident in second gen, but has somewhat quieted down since then, although their existence is far from extinct. Now, I do want to reiterate that there isn't actually anything wrong with any type of fan, regardless of where they come from, their age, their gender, and their sexuality. In an ideal world, or just if we look through rose-tinted glasses, these men are just supporting young idols and their talents. But this is not that world, and we know that these uncle fans aren't here because of their love for bubblegum pop. At some point, we can all agree that it's not right for a 40-year-old man to be following the career and moves of a teenage girl. While not every fan of that age may have perverted intentions, it is a sad fact that young female celebrities have always been preyed upon by creepy old men. Whether it be those 18th birthday countdowns for celebrities like the Olsen twins or Lindsay Lohan, or the inclusion of a 13-year-old Millie Bobby Brown in the sexiest actresses list, it is something that we've seen happen far too often. Now, I've talked about sexualization of young female idols in K-pop before already, but the list of examples is just... why is there a list of examples? Not that creeping on adult women is any less weird, and I'm going to include examples of this as well, but it's assumed that an adult woman is capable of understanding these intentions. Basically, we're so scarred we basically expect the worst. But a younger child is way more naive. Basically, an adult woman is definitely better equipped to handle this kind of situation rather than a little girl. And with K-pop's growing obsession with debuting fetuses, this demographic of fans and their creepiness is not going to go away. This entire ordeal can be overly simplified and explained as ephebophilia, which I don't think is always the case, but it definitely has a crucial presence. Ephebophilia is the fixation or sexual interest in mid to late adolescence. I've talked about why this happens in my Lolita video, but just to reiterate, older men tend to like younger women, sometimes even just children, because of the power they feel over them. They feel that younger girls are easier to control. Their opinions and thoughts aren't solidified yet, and thus these older men have a lot of power in molding them to be exactly how they want it. Of course, there is also a very, very clear physical aspect in it, in the roughest of words. They see young girls as pure and untainted, and they have a wicked sense of obsession with that. And I'm just gonna give you a minute there to puke your guts out. Okay. Now that we've established why this kind of, quote, preference occurs, let's get back to K-pop. You'll notice that uncle fans tend to be more drawn towards younger groups. Aegyo, cute concepts. Are you seeing a pattern here? A big example is Twice. When they were younger and did more cute concepts, they had so many uncle fans. But since then, they've all grown up and pursued more mature sounds as well. And you can see that their demographic of uncle fans has lessened quite significantly. But now, let's really get into why this phenomenon of uncle fans can really be problematic. Idols forced to behave a certain way by their company. Market your product to your demographic. These companies, however, forget that their product is a living, breathing, and feeling human being, vulnerable to them because of a contract and the fact that their parents are living far away, unable to protect their children. I mean, some companies don't even let these idols have phones. Has anyone thought for a second why these trainees have to be so isolated from their family? Because let me tell you, it's not so they can, quote, focus on their training. Like I mentioned, these companies force certain idols to act and sound different to their real selves to cater to that uncle demographic. Examples of this include making their voices higher pitched, dressing up in a more, how do I put this, childish manner? I mean, 20-year-olds in schoolgirl costumes should have tipped you off. Making songs that sound like they were written for children, but the meanings are actually either romantic or, yikes, sexual. And lastly, aggravating amounts of aegyo. Now, I will accept that there is a cultural difference here. East Asian ideals do prefer cute over sexy rather than Western ideals that prefer sexy over cute. But let me remind you again what I said in my Lolita video. There is a difference between cute and childish. These two are both cute, but they're very different. Now, let's talk about Momoland. Do you remember the surge of inappropriate images and fan cams that made waves on the internet around 2018? Mostly of barely legal member Nancy. Their company gave them a cute concept song, and as someone who didn't read the lyrics, I always thought it was just innocent, cute lyrics. This happens so much in K-pop. Songs that sound perfect for kids to sing at their elementary school talent show until boom, you open color-coded lyrics and peek at the English translation and are left shocked. Back to Momoland. They were given the tiniest shorts, ones that would be hard to walk in, much less dance in. But here's the kicker, they weren't even given any safety shorts, which led to so many upskirt fan cams. Yeah, let's get to that. Guess who owns a majority, if not all, of upskirt fan cam accounts? Uncle fans. I mean, they are definitely buying whatever the companies are selling, and they're doing it in bulk. If you want a more in-depth look at upskirt fan cams, I have an entire video dedicated to that side of the internet if you want to check it out. There was also an incident with a girl group called Fanatics. During a live stream, they were forced to not use a blanket while wearing shorter garments, basically making sure that their legs, thighs, and other parts were on full display to thousands of live viewers. When a member tried to use a jacket to cover them up, a staff member who sounded like an older male manager was heard demanding that they remove any coverings because those were the parts that they wanted to show off. He also allegedly slapped this member. Basically, all this is to say that it's no secret that companies definitely try to sexualize young female idols, and they're doing so by keeping these uncle fans in their mind. And while we are talking about uncles, I want to talk about some of K-pop's very cherished shows. Now, I will just preface this by saying that I am in no way an avid watcher of these shows, and the instances that I'm going to show you may just be one-offs. Although I highly doubt that, since I have observed the same pattern of behavior in a bunch of episodes. But just as a disclaimer, I'm not an expert on these shows, so don't take this to be defamation or anything. In no context or situation should grown men be fighting to be a girl half their age's ideal type. And in no way is it cute for these grown men to become all shy and twirly at a young girl's aegyo. Sir, please act your age and let these girls act their age as well. You could literally be their dad. And some of you may say, hey, it's really not that deep. But it kind of is. It enforces all of the messed up stuff we've talked about so far, and it may just seem like jokes right now, but in reality it's pushing this weird and honestly creepy narrative even further. An alternative insight into uncle fans was explored by Time magazine with reference to the girl group Crayon Pop. They said, quote, "Uncle fans are just like their names, a paternal supporter who sees these K-pop idols as nieces."
You just made that up!
He stresses the point that there is nothing pedophilic about it. And while I do think that there are some uncle fans to whom this may apply, this look into uncle fans is a very shallow exploration into the demographic. It seems very surface level, just for the sake of doing it. This point is directly debated by Soul Beats in their article, "What's the Harm in Uncle Fans?" Pause to read as it is quite long, but the gist of it is that they believe that the term uncle fans is a sort of shield used by grown men to mask any crude feelings by hiding it behind a label of familial connotation. Basically, just the fact that they feel the need to put this uncle label on themselves instead of just saying they're grown men that enjoy K-pop further proves that they too are aware of the mindset that some members of their demographic harbor. Seems like overcompensating to me. But for a minute, let's give these uncle fans the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they really are into it because of the music. Then tell me why all of this energy is only focused on girl groups, especially that one subsection of girl groups. I mean, there's a ton of boy groups that also do cute concepts and make cutesy pop music. Where are the uncle fans in their audience? Makes you think, doesn't it? Additionally, where do these uncle fans go when a girl group switches to more mature concepts or just when the members grow up, get past the age of, I don't know, like 20? Now, let's talk about fan meetings. Recently, a picture of a grown man going to New Jeans' fan meeting kind of made the rounds on Twitter, and obviously people were weirded out. Naturally, because in what world should a stranger, especially a man who's like well into his 30s or 40s, have an opportunity to sit and talk to teenagers in a private one-on-one setting? Like, what is going on? Like, what could they possibly have to chat about? Mortgages? Or middle school homework? Knowing what happens at fan meetings, like remember the G-Friend spy cam glass incident? This is simply not safe. And I understand that these kinds of assumptions may hurt some middle-aged men's feelings, but honestly, I really don't care if that happens as long as these kids are safe. This weird obsession with younger idols is something that happens with noona fans as well, so let me know if you'd like me to cover that in a future video. And in conclusion to this video essay, I just wish K-pop firstly debuted idols who were at least 18, and secondly, companies allowed parents to be a crucial presence in these young idols' lives. It's literally their job to protect their babies, and I can't imagine how uncomfortable and scared they must feel watching their little kids get sexualized and gazed at creepily by men their own age, and having to suppress those feelings and concerns because of a contract, or the fear of their child being blackballed from the industry and losing their career and dream. I understand that K-pop is a business, and honestly, they can make whatever weird merch they want to capitalize off of everything. And I mean everything, but selling your idols like their product should never be an option. I don't care how much money it brings you, it can't match the cost of humanity and decency. And if you're a young girl watching this video and still don't get it, imagine you're a dad, obsessing over an idol who's younger than you. Yeah, you're welcome for the nightmares. And with that is all for this video essay. Please subscribe to my channel because I make loads of videos on topics like this as well as just funnier and lighthearted content. like this video for all of the nightmares I'm definitely going to get because of the researching and scripting for this video. And I know I haven't uploaded in a while, but honestly, I just have so much work to do, and I try to squeeze out any scripting and editing I can in my free time, so trust me, I am trying my best. Also, comment below what you think of this topic. I'd love to hear your takes because, like I said, this isn't all conclusive. It's just an exploration and my opinion, and I'll see you in my next video. Stay safe.